Karina Shuliak, Epstein's girlfriend.
And the only times she traveled and went anywhere was with him. And guess who's on the other end with her Panama?
She thinks if we just know her, again, like we're going to like her. Okay, show me the friends who know you, who have stuck by you. Who's still in your life? There's not even a family member. They're all gone. Everyone who knew you either fled from you or they were dumped by you because they weren't famous. They weren't Tyler Perry. They weren't Oprah, Gail, all these people who she didn't know at all, who she had at her wedding. George Clooney, I'm sure they were really tight, right? Like the people who did know her jumped ship.
If the royal family ever handed out awards for unexpected plot twists, Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew would be seated in the front row. One was publicly styled as a Hollywood humanitarian success story. The other spent years entangled in controversies that steadily chipped away at the monarchy's credibility.
And I wonder if Prince Andrew's going to come out and say, hey, Harry, I did your wife quite a few times on yachts before you got her.
What?
On the surface, their worlds appeared miles apart. Yet, according to Tom Bower, the biographer known for torching royal narratives with methodical precision, those two names may have crossed paths long before Prince Harry ever entered Meghan's life. And if Bower's so-called receipts are taken seriously, the overlap isn't random. It's uncomfortable. This story doesn't begin with scandal. It begins with proximity.
Right. She was a yacht girl. That's right. It's mentioned in the...
Bower's research doesn't accuse Meghan Markle of criminal behavior or illegal acts. Instead, it highlights what he repeatedly describes as coincidental alignments. Shared social environments, overlapping timelines, repeated names, and an elite global circuit where power, money, and influence quietly circulate. According to his files, Meghan wasn't simply an outsider peering through palace gates later in life. There are suggestions she may have already been moving within adjacent circles years earlier, circles that included figures later tied to Prince Andrew's social orbit. Same yachts, same billionaires, same luxury destinations, and, notably, the same silences. Royal watchers often point back to that now-famous moment when Meghan appeared to whisper to Harry during a royal gathering, asking who the man near the Queen was, seemingly unfamiliar with Prince Andrew. Bower suggests that performance of innocence may not have been as spontaneous as it appeared. When timelines, travel histories, and resurfaced interviews are examined together, critics argue a different picture emerges, one hiding in plain sight. This isn't framed as gossip. It's framed as power dynamics, image construction, and the strategic erasure of inconvenient overlaps. And it's why some believe the palace would prefer this entire chapter buried permanently. According to Bower's earlier work and resurfaced online discussions, questions begin around 2001 during Meghan Markle's time at Northwestern University. While most students were focused on coursework and campus life, rumors circulated that Meghan was absent for extended periods. Friends allegedly claimed she was traveling with wealthy acquaintances somewhere in the Mediterranean. No official records confirm where she went, but the whispers were persistent enough to attract attention in Royal Watch circles years later. Some online commentators have labeled her during that era as deeply embedded in high-end party circuits. Others insist those claims are exaggerated. Bower himself stops short of endorsing the harsher characterizations, but he repeatedly emphasizes patterns of proximity, connections between ambitious Hollywood hopefuls and Europe's elite social scene. Names like Ewan Rell, a London-based socialite and investment banker reportedly familiar with Prince Andrew's associates before the Epstein scandal, appear repeatedly in online reconstructions. Old sorority photos show Meghan projecting normalcy. Pearls, cardigans, campus smiles. Yet former peers quoted anonymously in British tabloids describe unexplained absences and stories that didn't always align. It may have been nothing more than adventurous travel. But Bower notes that the timing placed her within the same luxury networks frequented by Andrew's friends long before either name became globally scrutinized. And critics keep asking, if those early yacht rumors were meaningless, why do the same names and destinations resurface at pivotal moments throughout Meghan's rise? After university, Meghan's official narrative describes study programs in Spain and Argentina. But entertainment columnists and travel bloggers later referenced by Royal Watch communities paint a more fluid picture. The early 2000s reportedly involved frequent movement: Madrid, Ibiza, Monte Carlo, Thailand. Locations that resemble invitation-only summers more than academic programs. Bauer refers to these stretches as ghost years, periods where Meghan appeared briefly in public records, then vanished again. There are no verified photographs placing her with royalty or scandal figures. But tabloid retrospectives have noted that several billionaires later linked to Prince Andrew's circle were hosting events during the same months Meghan was said to be abroad. Whether coincidence or selective memory, Bauer leaves readers to decide. Public accounts also highlight Meghan's growing fascination with British media culture. Journalists recall her asking detailed questions about royal reporting long before Suits' fame. Others remember her interest in fashion circles where entertainment and aristocracy overlapped. To supporters, it was ambition. To skeptics, calculated curiosity. Either way, those years built a subtle bridge between Hollywood aspiration and Britain's most exclusive rooms. By 2012, Meghan's career gained traction. Suits was underway, international promotion followed, and she traveled to Hong Kong for what appeared to be a standard publicity engagement. What caught commentators' attention later was timing. Prince Andrew happened to be in Hong Kong the same week on a trade mission. There is no evidence they met. No photographs. No joint appearances. But flight logs confirm Andrew's presence, while deleted social posts showed Meghan tagging luxury venues known for VIP receptions. An archived interview clip, later removed, featured Meghan mentioning a British royal nearby without naming him. Speculation filled the gap. Some journalists recalled seeing both entourages at the same hotel chain. Others dismissed it as coincidence. Royal watchers, however, described it as the first visible overlap between Meghan's Hollywood ascent and the monarchy's inner machinery. If Hong Kong raised eyebrows, Soho House intensified them. Between 2014 and 2016, lifestyle magazines and Bauer's commentary placed Meghan firmly within the Soho House orbit, from Toronto to Istanbul. One 2015 social column allegedly positioned her at an Istanbul gathering hosted by Ron Burkle, a billionaire investor later described as a longtime acquaintance of Prince Andrew. Photographs from the event surfaced years later, showing Meghan alongside British elites. Those images quietly vanished from multiple archives after her engagement announcement. Bauer's research traces many of Meghan's later relationships, stylists, PR figures, mutual friends of Harry, back to the same Soho network. Supporters call it smart networking. Critics see early image engineering. Then came Jamaica in 2017. Officially, Meghan attended a destination wedding as Prince Harry's guest. But tabloid reports questioned her travel arrangements. While Harry reportedly flew commercial, sources claimed Meghan arrived via private jet allegedly linked to Ron Burkle. Guest lists included figures from both Hollywood and Andrew's extended royal circle. Princess Eugenie, Sarah Ferguson, and Prince Andrew were reportedly nearby that same weekend. Despite extensive photo coverage, none showed Meghan and Andrew together, a detail some later labeled a strategic absence. In Oprah's interview, Ferguson denied meeting Meghan before Harry, though commentators noted their circles may have overlapped earlier. Once the engagement became public, coverage shifted dramatically. Analysts observed early stories about Meghan's pre-royal social networks disappearing from archives. Blogs vanished. Interviews redirected. Image credits changed. Journalists privately suggested reputation management was in overdrive. Bauer and others noted this wasn't unusual for royal PR. The palace has long balanced narratives to avoid compounded scandals. In Meghan's case, commentators argue the strategy was simple: avoid any comparison with Prince Andrew's already toxic headlines. Media insiders later claimed outlets were quietly advised not to cross-reference Meghan's timeline with Andrew-associated names. Not censorship, they said, editorial discretion. But for royal watchers, the timing spoke volumes. Bauer's 2022 biography Revenge didn't accuse. It connected. His receipts highlighted overlapping guest lists, charity events, and recurring figures across international gatherings spanning more than a decade. Readers filled in the blanks, reconstructing timelines with flight data and press clippings. Critics accused him of fueling speculation. Supporters praised him for documenting what others avoided. What made the receipts viral wasn't proof, it was pattern recognition. Once those patterns circulated, silence followed. Royal correspondents noticed restraint. Phones went quiet. Emails stopped returning. One message echoed across newsrooms: don't merge the scandals. But history shows that the harder a story is buried, the deeper the public digs. This saga doesn't end with a revelation. It ends with unanswered questions. Meghan's timeline. Andrew's shadow. Coincidences that refuse to fade. Power, perception, and carefully managed myth. And just when it seems the curtain has closed, another door creaks open. Because before these receipts surfaced, Bauer had already unsettled the palace with an even more controversial claim involving a pivotal announcement and inconsistencies that divided commentators and stunned audiences. That story is already waiting. This is Star Spotlight, where context matters, conclusions are left to the viewer, and the curtain never stays closed for long.